What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to a very special. What?
I was gonna say you can't. It's not an episode. It's you can't introduce it like it's an episode, Dan. It's a live stream.
Of course I can. I titled it like it's an episode. This is season 3, episode 23.
Oh, well.
Let's try this again. First up, hockey fans. Welcome to a very special live trade deadline reaction episode. My name is Dan Bradley. Alongside me today, we've got Joel Fernino and Nate HP. Guys, chaos in the NHL today. Some big moves that we thought we weren't even necessarily going to get. We had a lot of moves throughout the week, but today's moves.
Hand to God, I will personally apologize because I said, not just in our deadline episode that we did on Tuesday, but even 2 weeks ago on our last episode, I literally said this deadline was going to be fairly boring. I was dead wrong.
This was about as interesting as it got. HP, Minnesota Wild. We'll start there for a minute.
Of course you will.
Dewey won. Dewey won.
The Deweys.
Dewey 2. Well, okay, Joel, if you wanted to start with your team, should have made some moves.
Yeah, did they make
any moves? We actually made a move.
Beauvillier.
We traded Beauvillier for a 5th-round pick, which literally we traded for Beauvillier when our roster was decimated by injuries for a conditional 5th. So we essentially just got our money back.
Sometimes it just works out that way.
I mean, he was kind of meh. I mean, he was really liked in the room, so the guys were a little bit down about it, but cool, we got our money back. The only reason Davidson even made that trade was because we literally had no NHL players outside of 3 players to play at that time. Anyway, go ahead. Talk about Minnesota. You guys apparently are obsessed with the 2026 draft.
Yeah, that's going to be apparently a great year for prospects. I sure hope Bill Guerin and Judd Brackett know something we don't about that draft class. Dewey 1 and Dewey 2 both gone for picks in that class. Pat Maroon gets moved for a pick in that class. HP, your reaction to not only that these were picks multiple years out, but what does that do for the Wild the rest of the way here?
I mean, the 2030 Wild are probably going to be pretty damn good.
Those
prospects turn out. Yeah, when Kirill is gone and retired. Oh, no, that's not.
Anyway. I hope he's not retired by 2030.
Yeah, maybe that's exaggerating.
If he is, we're really in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble. I'm shocked for those. Not one of those guys could have yielded a pick in the 2024 or 2025 draft. We were talking about it earlier of had it been a 3rd round this year, that would have been great. Mm-hmm. But 2 years from now, you can't get a 2nd or, anything out of Colorado. I mean, Maroon, a 6th rounder, that feels about right. But not one of those guys could have gotten a pick in this year or next year's draft.
Well, especially coming off injury too for Maroon, where he is traded on the condition they know that he's still just getting back to skating after an injury, so he'll be out for another week or so yet.
It's like Gustav Nyquist with the Wild last year. He was out for 2 weeks after the trade deadline, after we acquired him.
And boy, has he looked good for Nashville this year, and Nashville acquiring some pieces as well.
And boy, do we look stupid for letting him walk instead of Marcus Johansson.
Can you imagine Nyquist putting up those kind of – the Wild are a playoff team if they keep Nyquist over Johansson.
Well, Johansson has 9 goals this year? Is that right? Or is it 12?
Something I think that might be high on the goal count. He's at 20-something points.
Yeah.
But
I know Freddie's at at 9 goals, I think, which is just brutally bad.
Yeah, Freddie has been a disappointment. Johansson has been a big disappointment. I look at this as we knew that the Deweys were probably gone.
Yep.
Little more surprised that Maroon got moved when he did, because I think he still had some term on his deal.
I don't remember what he was signed for.
I think he had 1 more year past this year, which I'll check that quick on shout out Cap Friendly and holy smokes, are those people busy today?
Yeah, no kidding.
They've got
how is that a free service?
They make that easy for everybody here. So,
I mean, where did we end up?
Oh no, it is the end of this year. So
I thought he was only on a 1-year deal.
So
yeah,
let's go through.
It was a 1-year deal. So.
I have the list of all the trades up since our show. I'm just gonna rattle through them. Well, any that makes sense.
I can put some of them up because we got our banners here too with the teams specifically.
You made banners. Oh.
Yeah, I did. Because I put this together to be a little prep for the show.
Excuse me? What was that, HP?
It's like he cares about this podcast. I didn't mean to infer that you don't.
You throwing shade? I'll kick your ass out of here. You know what? Bye, HP.
Hey, guess what?
Nope.
I can bring him back.
Nope. I can remove him as fast as you bring him back. No, okay.
All right.
I didn't mean to say that you didn't care. You don't care about the show because I know you do.
No, it's fine. I'm used to getting ganged up on by the Minnesotan.
Yeah, we've been all over him about the high school tournament going on right now.
Oh my God, Dan! Hey, hold on. We got to keep HP on. We have 31 viewers right now.
Yeah, keep them coming.
I bring the people.
He brings the people.
The show.
He brings the people. Well, hello to everybody who we've never met before.
Let's talk about some of these moves that. Let's start with the Western Conference here because this is really where some of the big splashes, in particular, have been made. We thought the Avalanche were loading up, bringing in Casey Middlestad and Sean Walker, and we mentioned Brandon Duhaime, which is why I kind of wanted to segue in there. And then Yakov Trenin as well. Plus, they're getting Valeri Nichushkin back into the lineup tonight. Colorado playing Minnesota tonight. I am fully prepared for Colorado to win that one by 5.
With Brandon Duhaime getting a hat trick or something?
God, that would just be on brand.
Oh, you mean the guy that has 8 points on the season? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no. Going to play for a team like Colorado.
Yeah, he's going to play for a competent team.
As bad as the Wild's defense has been this year, he's going to feast. Plus 650 on DraftKings to score an anytime goal tonight for those.
I'm actually going to check FanDuel right now because I will take you up on what you offered me. But
yes, please.
Well, it wasn't on FanDuel earlier. That was the thing.
I know. I'll check.
Which makes me think all the more reason that they know he's going to score, so they don't want to put the odds up.
I don't know about that, but
there we go.
Yeah,
I'm willing to put some. Monopoly money on that. So yeah.
There you go. My dad says it's going to happen.
It's, you know what? Now that your dad says it, I'm actually.
And when Doug says it's going to happen,
you two saying it, I don't trust. But your dad saying it, now I'm in.
Then the big ones here: Vegas, not to be outdone by Colorado, brings in Noah Hannafin. We talked about Anthony Mantha earlier in this week on our Tuesday show, and then. At the buzzer, Thomas Hertl.
Dude.
That is a massive hit.
Can we stop helping the Vegas Golden Knights?
No.
Can we stop this?
No, we can keep helping the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go.
I mean, as long as it keeps Colorado, Winnipeg, and Chicago from winning, I'm good.
I would like to shout out my favorite.
We're not going to be winning until Vegas won't be winning, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would like to shout out my favorite tweet that I saw, and I sent it to you guys. I don't remember who tweeted it, but it was the next time I'm buying a car, I'm bringing Kelly McCrimmon because somehow the dealership will end up owing me money.
Yup.
It's up on FanDuel. Brandon Duhaime is plus 550.
Plus 5. See, better odds on DraftKings.
I mean, I'm willing to do it.
It's gone down. Okay, the same offer stands if you want to do it.
Same.
Wait, so what am I doing? Just text it to me.
Yeah.
You're going to have to scroll back in our chat, but it's there.
But
the deal for Hertl, not only is it that they got Thomas Hertl, but they're getting third-round picks from the Sharks in 2025 and 2027. They gave up forward prospect David Edstrom and then a 2025 first-round pick. Oh. To me, this is just an absolute slam dunk for Vegas. Edstrom was the final pick of the first round in last year's draft. 19-year-old playing with Frölunda in the Swedish Hockey League. Solid player. They get the first round pick, but knowing that Hertl is locked in on a long-term deal. Again, the rich get richer with Vegas here.
Did they retain salary?
Still trying to figure that one out and see what the details are there.
For what, Hurdle?
Hurdle, yeah.
Yes.
So they did. They are retaining the remaining 6 years of his contract. I just don't know what or what percentage yet. That's not. That's
see
not
if it's on
yet.
Twitter.
But they are in fact officially the Sharks are retaining the remaining 6 years of his deal. But they're still. I think
that's amazing.
I know that's a huge deal. Hurdle, Hanifin, like Mantha happened before. Like we mentioned that on our show on Tuesday. We were kind of like, yeah, and I told you, I was like, they have another big splash in them. I didn't know, and Noah Hanifin to me was that big splash. And I was like, okay, there you go. I did not expect another big splash in Hurdle. Like, I knew Hurdle would get moved, but I didn't expect Vegas to jump in on that. This is huge. I had my doubts of Vegas repeating, but now they have loaded back up, and I don't know, man. I can see it now.
The other stipulation with this trade is with Vegas's first round pick that was going to go to Calgary in the Hanifin deal, with Vegas moving their 2025 first rounder to San Jose, that means Calgary is going to get the 2026 first rounder. Wow. So
here I have this tweet from Steven Ellis. I don't know who that is. I've never seen him before, but apparently he does hockey stuff. This is Vegas first round picks since 2018. 2018, Cody Glass, Nick Suzuki, Eric Brandstrom, all traded. 2019, Peyton Krebs, traded. 2020, Brandon Brisson, still there, I believe. Yep. 2021, Zach Dean, traded. 2022, traded the pick. 2023, David Edstrom, traded. 2024, still have their first rounder. 2025, traded. 2026, traded.
Vegas knows how to use their assets and maximize their assets. And they did that before they were even a team.
As of 11 minutes ago, per Frank Saravalli, the Flames actually still have one more trade in the queue right now.
Oh.
And the comments, I tend to
Markstrom.
Exactly. So I tend to agree with the comment section, which never happens on Twitter because it's a cesspool. But I do agree with them. If it isn't a Markstrom trade, then who the hell cares?
Is it this one? Flames are, per Saravalli, Flames are grabbing left defenseman Nikita. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this. Okaduk?
I saw that. I didn't see.
Is that the one you're thinking of? Or
maybe I didn't see the times. So that
from
tweet I just read was 11 minutes ago. What's the time?
I'm gonna put this up on the screen so everybody else can read it.
Oh, 1 minute.
Where is it? There it is.
That's it. I didn't notice that. That's 1 minute ago.
So
I saw that tweet first, and then saw the trade.
Yeah, I see. I just see the one you have.
So that says 1 minute ago. Yeah, I didn't notice that because I only noticed the one I read was 11 minutes ago. Sorry, Markstrom has not been traded, which is weird.
I wasn't saying he was.
It's a little surprising to me that they've needed to figure out their goaltending situation for a while. You've got Wolf coming up from the AHL. He's been the best goaltender at the AHL the last couple seasons. They had locked in with Dan Vladar, who is, okay backup. You've had Markstrom, who's been way up and down, but you get a chance to move him while Markstrom is playing well, get a buyer on that contract. I mean, that could have been really big for any contender. Joel, you mentioned as well right before we got on that speaking of these Western Conference teams making moves, we very nearly had Linus Ullmark to the Los Angeles Kings, who have needed some goaltending stability. That certainly would have made a big difference for them.
And Mark, I want our buddy Mark to chime in on that one because it sounds like the Bruins were ready to click the green button on that, and then I guess some terms got left on the table, and it didn't manifest until or before the deadline hit, so they couldn't get it done.
Looking around to some of the other Western Conference moves, we had Anthony Beauvillier, as we mentioned earlier, Jason Zucker, and Wade Allison all going to Nashville, which after they moved Yakov Trenin to the Avalanche in one of those earlier trades, bringing in some guys to round things out. Nashville is gunning for that last playoff spot. I mean, they're pretty clearly behind, Colorado, Dallas, and now Winnipeg, of course, bringing in Tyler Toffoli and Colin Miller. Guys, where do we think Nashville ends up here? And is this a team that could make some noise in the playoffs following these moves?
I need to look at where they are. Are they in a playoff spot right now? I need to check the standings.
Right on the bubble of that wild card spot, and it kind of
they're in the first wild card spot.
It's that cluster of Nashville, Vegas, just because of
how is Vegas in the second wild card spot?
Well, without Eichel and without Mark Stone for a little bit, that did slow things up. But Calgary, Seattle, St. Louis, Minnesota, Wild as of today, Wild are out.
I'm sorry.
I don't think they're
playoffs either. So in my opinion, like, I wanted to touch on this. I have to make fun of you a little bit. I got both of you here. But in my opinion, though, Guerin's kind of making the right moves. Like, he's knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. And you guys aren't making the playoffs. I'm sorry.
No, but this is something that we knew weeks now.
Of course.
Until yesterday, Guerin had held on to this team as a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And my thing
is starting to make moves yesterday that we weren't.
Right. And here's the only issue, though. While that's the smart move, here's the other thing, and I brought it up at the beginning. What the hell is happening in the 2026 draft that Bill Guerin is so obsessed with in the later rounds? Like 3 trades in a row, 2026 picks, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th.
Oh, I just saw this tweet.
Right? It was a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, right?
Yep.
Or no, one of them
4th, 5th, 6th. So here I have the picks we have in the 2026 draft.
Dewey was the third. Dewey one was the third.
Here I have the picks that we have in the 2026 draft. We have a 1st, a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 5th, 6th, 6th, 7th.
I mean,
that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 picks in the 2026 draft.
You can start
plenty of Arsenal to move up to.
You know what he's doing? I'm not talking about doing the 2 years ahead from now. He read a page out of Kyle Davidson's draft pick book.
Yeah, but at least Davidson is getting first round picks on his
returns. Well, we had a lot of first round talent to get rid of, and he cleaned house.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing I kind of just thought of is that's around the time the Wild's cup window. Yes, that's in quotes. Settle down. Could be opening with all the guys coming up, Liam Ogren, Murat Huzadina. Well, Huzadina's coming this year, but like when he starts to figure it out, all those guys are coming up. And that could be the time where if they're going to be contending, they're going to need to trade away some picks to buy at the deadline instead of being sellers. So that could be good ammo for that. Maybe.
Joey making a bold prediction for us here. Nashville misses the playoffs despite the moves.
That is bold, Joey.
I also says a happy Friday and go Bradley. Missouri Valley Conference Tournament.
Missouri Valley Conference Tournament started yesterday. Bradley had a bye, so we play UIC tonight.
Cup
should be a good one.
But I agree with Joey. I actually think the Nashville's trades were like exciting-ish, but to me it's not gonna do anything really that much. So like you mentioned the Anthony Beauvillier trade, that was something even to Chicago. Like we were like, oh, like our expectations was Tyler Johnson and possibly Colin Blackwell. Those were the 2 names. Like we knew Kyle Davidson had said as much. Like it's not going to be that active of a trade deadline this year. It's we didn't have a Patrick Kane to trade like we did last year, and we don't have really a lot that would bring us back anything. It's everyone's in the system now, and we don't want to really give up on young talent. Stan Bowman. So those were the only names that we really thought. And then Anthony Beauvillier, we traded a conditional 5th for him back when we were so riddled with injury that we basically were the Chicago Ice Hogs for a good month or 2. We needed NHL players because everybody was so injured. And then literally we turn around and just get the 5th round pick back. Like this to me was the absolute definition of rental.
Yeah. I got to disagree with Joey here only because as I look at these standings, who's going to catch him?
I was just going to make that same point.
In that first wild card spot, they've got an 8-point lead over the next closest non-playoff team,
which is Calgary, who's
has
pulled
shipped everyone out. Seattle was moving guys. St. Louis didn't really make they didn't make any moves, did they?
They did something with Columbus for future considerations, but I didn't see what it was.
Did they not? They didn't move Paul Buchnevich at all, did they?
No,
they did not.
No, they did not. Okay, that was one I tried calling. It didn't work out.
Can't win them all.
No,
you did hit on a couple of them though.
I mean, I hit on. I need to go back and check. Dan checked me on this. I do need to go back and check when I said this, but I did mention Hurdle getting traded. I didn't say where. I actually did. Vegas. I'll tell you right now, I did not say Vegas. I didn't expect that one.
We had that one, and then there was one other one that we had said on Tuesday's show that I'm trying to remember.
We said Noah Hannafin.
You guys talked about Hannafin.
We talked about Hannafin a lot. Tarasenko to Florida might have been. That wasn't it. There was one other one that we called.
Did we even
said Florida needed a winger, but we didn't say.
Yeah, did we even mention? I don't think we talked about.
I don't think we did.
No,
I had him on my list when we were doing our what do you call it? The blind reactions. I had him in my list for that, but we
didn't get to it. Right? Like that's the other thing too. Our little blind back and forth list was damn near 100%, at least for the sake of they got traded. The only one we were wrong about was Sean Walker. He did not stay.
Right. And I mean, the thing with Walker, too, is he certainly could have stayed, and it would have made a lot of sense for Philly to hang on to him. But also, when you can get a good return for him,
right?
And they got a solid return.
And here's the thing: we said Philly is confusing. To me, that was a confusing move.
A little bit, but they got the first-round pick from Colorado. They got Ryan Johansson, who they were looking at. Could we try and move Johansson, who is currently, at Lehigh Valley, that they were looking to see, is there a team that we can try and find a better fit? Because Johansson is as much talent as we've seen from him. It's been so streaky, so up and down. He wasn't the right fit in Colorado, so he needed to get somewhere else. I think it's a similar type of situation to Kuznetsov with the Capitals, where it just wasn't working anymore. Needed to try and find a team and go somewhere else. And Carolina is able to bring in Kuznetsov. That might be a sneaky deal for Carolina come playoff time. In fact, let's look at some of these Eastern Conference moves here too. I think we got through the only other Western Conference team we didn't touch on was Edmonton, Henrique, Carrick, and Stetcher.
I like that move.
Henrique, Stetcher, or both?
Both. I like Edmonton getting, especially Adam Henrique. I like that move a lot.
I like Henrique. I can't believe they packaged Carrick and Henrique. Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts mentioned that those two guys could be moving from the Ducks. He just didn't say they'd be a package deal to anyway.
And they can toss Henrique at center, right? He's major. He's mainly a center, right?
Yeah, center who can play wing.
I feel like I only ask because I've seen him get moved to wing at one point in time. I don't remember when that was though.
Definitely better in the face-off dot.
In the spirit of the live stream, let's catch up with comments here.
I want to hear Mark's thoughts about getting Maroon. I was going to mention that earlier. Dude, he says yippee, but a good thing or a bad thing.
Boston gets a guy who can beat the shit out of people. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. I see what you're laughing at.
Mark, I love you. I hear cocaine is great in the Carolinas. He will be comfortable there. Yeah, Dan, can you confirm that for us?
I absolutely cannot confirm that.
I neither can I. That actually, Mark does bring up a fun point. We'll get back to the Edmonton thing, but Kuzi I remember that was a big move that wasn't trade related, like Kuzi getting put on waivers. I mean, I was kind of shocked. Dan, I know you weren't, but I kind of was. I didn't really expect him to move anywhere, but then Washington still, he clears waivers, which also that part surprised me too.
It cleared because of the contract. That made it really hard for any team to try and claim.
No, that makes sense.
A $5+ million player going through waivers, knowing that you've got the trade deadline coming up, knowing that you needed to try and weaponize your cap as much as you could. have the most freedom to make the moves. And then they still got they still got Washington to retain salary in going and getting Kuznetsov. Mark, to talk about Maroon here, that he for Milan Lucic with the grit and intimidation factor postseason, plus a ton of playoff experience and cup cred for Maroon as well. You bring in somebody who is well liked in the locker room, who plays that kind of role, who knows what it takes to get there and has done it recently. I really like the move and I really like the fit for Boston there. And I think Andrew Peeke, I got to see him in Columbus a bunch last year when, living in Ohio and watching those Jackets games. Peeke is a really sneaky move here. He's not the splashy name. He's not Tanev. He's not Hannafin, but he is a guy who will lock down the bottom pairing for them. Probably, could he move up and play some penalty kill time? Yes, I don't think power play upside is there, but I do think, could he jump in on the PK? Absolutely. And then
your dad brings up a very solid point here.
Yeah.
All Maroon does is win cups, man. He's like the cup fairy. You put him on a team, and it's you get a better chance to win a cup automatically for some odd reason, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, unless you're Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Well.
Oh my, Matamidi 2 in a row, 4-2.
4-2. Okay, keeping an eye on the Minnesota State tournament here.
Yeah, it's like, please explain to me.
Don't look now. Don't call it a comeback.
And for the 100th time we've said it on this show through the years, hey, Hermantown, move up to AA.
Yeah, move up to AA. Fucking cowards.
The other big move in Carolina, beyond going out and getting Kuznetsov for depth, was they also went out and got Jake Guentzel and Ty Smith, sending Michael Bunting, Cruz Lucius, Vasily Ponomarev, a conditional first and a conditional fifth. Now, guys, the conditions on these picks are fascinating.
Yeah, aren't they goofy?
The conditional first is contingent on Carolina making it to the cup. The conditional fifth is contingent on Carolina winning the cup.
Yep.
Wow.
So it is entirely possible that Pittsburgh could have moved Guentzel on this deal and not got any firm set in. There are no firm draft picks attached to this deal. It's entirely possible they walk away with no picks out of this deal.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I read this on a different trade, but I think that conditional fifth on winning the cup, it's a 7th if they don't win the cup.
Okay, so there might still be that.
I didn't see the first.
Yeah,
what's
on the first, the condition is they have to make it to the cup.
Otherwise, they don't get the pick.
No, otherwise I think it's a second round. No, otherwise I think it's a second round. I need to find the tweet, but the thing I read, unless it was for another, but this is the biggest trade of the trade deadline, the Jake Guentzel, sweepstakes.
In terms of number of pieces, yes.
Yeah.
But the Jake Guentzel sweepstakes was the biggest kind of player in there that we were like, where's he going to go? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Crosby was a little angry about it, but he did not get traded. I was really hoping.
Was he the biggest piece though? Like,
okay. So the first round pick will become a second round selection if Carolina doesn't advance. Pittsburgh is also retaining 25% of Guentzel's salary. Won't receive the fifth unless the Hurricanes win the cup. So the condition is more so tied to the first, where it would move back, but the fifth goes away entirely if they don't win the cup outright. So those are some good prospects. Cruz Lucius and Vasily Ponomarev. Bunting.
Spoke Z very high on Cruz Lucius.
Yeah, I mean, Lucius is going to be good. He'll be a solid fit.
Where's his brother Chaz?
Yeah. But Cruz and Ponomarev will probably be. Let's see. I think Cruz is probably AHL next year. Wilkes-Barre bound. Ponomarev pretty much needs to be making an NHL roster next year, or
where's
the clock is starting to tick here.
Where's Ponomarev now?
He was at the AHL.
Oh, he's in the AHL. Okay. Cruz, I know, is at Wisconsin.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate, but 5-2 Hermantown.
I was gonna say I knew I read those conditions right.
Yeah, so Ponomarev got called up for 2 games this year. He had a 2-point game and a no-point game, and then was sent back down. At the AHL level this year, he was with the Chicago Wolves for a little bit and the Tucson Roadrunners. 29 points in 39 games with the Wolves. Had only 2 games with Tucson, and Tucson is not a good AHL team this year. So Ponomarev, I think, is the one who's closer to NHL ready. But again, it's kind of like, okay, when are you going to put it together and show you're ready to take that next step? Cruz Lucius probably a little bit further out. But Bunting is kind of an interesting acquisition here overall. Ty Smith had kind of worn things out with Pittsburgh. Similar type of scenario with Ponomarev where, are you ready to be a full-time NHLer, or do you still need to develop in the AHL? As for Guentzel, though, that's a really solid get for Carolina. To add some serious scoring that, as we've seen them in the last couple of years in the playoffs, defense has been there. Goaltending has usually been there when healthy, which is a big asterisk. But they've kind of lost.
Score.
They can't score come playoffs. I'm going to ask both of you guys, where do you think Carolina ends up in the Eastern Conference?
Oh, dude, that's tough. They really loaded up too. Oh, man.
In the whole Eastern Conference?
Yeah, Eastern Conference playoffs, where do they end up?
Remind me, did you have them winning the cup? Or, I'm sorry, not winning the cup, making the cup?
I had them making the cup, yes.
You did. That's why I had to remember.
I think I did too. I never wrote down.
Let me double check the standings right now.
They're currently in 4th in the whole conference, 2nd in the Metropolitan. Okay. I'm looking at it now too because I have to remind myself where they are. They're 4 points behind the Rangers for 1st in the Metro.
And the Rangers made
I think they can catch the Rangers and finish 1st in the Metro.
The Rangers made a decent move. What
was they made a couple smaller moves. So they
didn't need to make any big moves. The Rangers are.
Oh, they just made the recent.
Wenberg and Roslovic.
Trad Ruedel was earlier today as well.
Yep.
Roslovic came in kind of late too.
Well, yep.
So again, what do we say you need in the playoffs? Center depth. So that's what they went up and got.
But wait, there was one other one. I was a big fan of it. Oh, Alex Wenberg, right?
Yeah. Wenberg was the big get, but Roslovic as well. Another solid depth move there.
Yeah, so I like that compared to, I don't know, man. Carolina made some really good moves.
And they got Guentzel and Kuznetsov. I think their ceiling is obviously a Stanley Cup. I think they finally got some scoring that they can use if you pair him with Aho. And is Svechnikov, is he healthy again, or is he's been up? He's been.
I should know.
I know I should know too.
I'm gonna go
out. I do know that much.
They got
Anderson's off IR now.
Yes, he's been skating.
So Fetch is back.
Okay.
The only one that is showing as injured is Guentzel, and he was
just skating for the first time yesterday. They had posted a video of him skating for the first time yesterday or something like that.
I don't know, man. I think Guentzel is a massive move alone by itself, but they made some other smaller-ish moves. Kuznetsov also being a decent move too, if he can find his way back.
Because he was in the player assistant program for a little bit earlier this season, and then
if he can find his way
immediately back and right down to AHL.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think they finish 1st in the Metro. I think they can pass the Rangers.
I agree with that. I think
now your question was in the playoffs.
Yes.
Ooh, man.
While you're thinking about that, let me just throw this out there. I was excited to see Kuznetsov tomorrow. I'm going to the Checkers are playing the Hershey Bears. So he was with Hershey. He was on the bus coming down to North Carolina, and then got news of the trade. but he got traded to Carolina.
Right.
So he's already on the bus coming down. And it's just like, oh, hey, guess what? You're going to hop off and go join the NHL.
Yeah.
So
I want to know.
We're going to stop in Raleigh and drop you off at the front door.
Yeah, I want to know if they met at like a Raising Cane's somewhere. Yes.
Oh, it'd be Bojangles down here.
Yeah, Bojangles.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I just had that for the first time when I went to Savannah. Actually,
Bojangles is solid.
Yeah.
Is it good? Is it better than Cane's? I don't know. I've never had it.
Cane's doesn't have breakfast. At least I don't think they do.
They do not.
Cane's
has a huge missed opportunity.
Bojangles breakfast biscuits. Their breakfast chicken biscuit is what I had, and it was decent.
I had Bojangles for lunch today. They messed up my order, so I'm beefing with Bojangles for a little bit.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Well, outside of that, yes, they clearly both buses met at a Bojangles, and Kuzi hopped off the Hershey bus and hopped onto the Charlotte. Well, I don't know why they would have a bus their home, but whatever.
Send it to go pick him up.
Yeah.
Give him that.
They sent him an Uber.
I was gonna say they actually just stopped at the Bojangles and just left without him, and then Charlotte sent an Uber to go get him.
What a way to tell a guy you're traded. Hey, just wait here. The Uber will be here in a while.
Believe it or not, though,
local.
Despite to answer your question though, it's tough for me to like in the Metro. Fine, like I can see them potentially beating out the Rangers for first just in the regular season, and then the playoffs. Whoever they play, I can see them beating in the first round. Whoever that might end up being. But outside of that, like, as if the playoffs started today, they'd be playing the Flyers. Carolina wins that series in 5.
Yep.
Probably. And, if they moved on and played, I'm not going to try and like figure out the seeding there, but I like their chances if they somehow play the Wings or Tampa. But the thing is I don't like their chances if they ever have to go through Florida or Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put them at second round, and it's going to depend on who they play.
So if they beat, well, here's the other thing is if they are able to pass the Rangers and take the division, they'll go against one of the wild card teams, which right now, Detroit, Tampa Bay, Islanders. Caps to me are done.
Yeah, they're done.
Here's the thing, though. Moves. Tampa made some fun moves, too.
They did. Yes. They went out and got Anthony Duclair. They brought in Matt Dumba. Again, just finding the right guys that fit what you need.
Those are solid depth pieces. I love the Dumba move.
Oh, yeah.
He's a solid D-man in general. Now where he doesn't have to be the 1 or the 2 or hell, even the 3. He doesn't have to have that weight on his shoulders. Now, like, oh man, that's kind of huge.
Well, and he can still, can he slot in on the power play for you? Sure, if he needs to.
Absolutely.
He's still got a lot of
upside there.
With Sergachev out until the end of the regular season and maybe into the first round of the playoffs, it's some good insurance there, but he's still a guy that you can keep in the lineup even when Sergachev comes back. Yeah, he wasn't playing well in Arizona this year. I think part of that too was just Arizona was not, Arizona wasn't the right scheme fit for his skill set.
Right. And I mean, like, Arizona's still in their rebuilding phase. Mm-hmm. How old's Dumba? Is he 29 now?
Yeah, that sounds right.
30?
I think so.
29
He's 29 or 30.
Is he?
I thought he was my age.
He's younger than you think he is.
So
he's 29.
He was my age. So I was gonna say, I knew he was my age. So to me, that's something.
Actually, Joel, you're older. You're older than Matt Dumba.
No, am I? I turned 30 in. Oh God, it's just under 2 months.
No, turning 30. Shut up.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, aren't you guys like 35 now?
Ouch.
Rude.
Ouch.
Also,
kick him out of here, will you?
Excuse me.
Got him.
Bastard. I had that coming. That's fine. Really quick. 2 Mark comments. Chiming in on the Wenberg trade. He can't believe that he went for a 2024 second and a 2025 fourth. I can. Because my whole theme, let's just get away from the fact real fast that Wenberg's still a very solid player.
Mm-hmm.
And a center at that. But
let's go 5-3.
A high school tournament.
We have a direct connection to Matamidi, so we're more invested in that one than some of the other games.
That's fair. That's
Matamidi, don't call it a comeback.
But outside of just Wenberg still being a very solid player, like, what do I always say, Dan? The trade deadline, teams get desperate. There is a reason that Brandon Hagel went for 2 firsts from us. Now, Hagel has produced very well for Tampa, so I mean they're getting their picks worth. By the way, that one of those firsts got us Oliver Moore.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I knew where you were going with that as soon as you said it. Like, I heard where your mind was going. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna like this.
I get to go watch Oliver Moore play tonight.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah, give us a scouting report.
Sure will.
That kid has rockets in his skates. I'm convinced.
He's pretty quick.
He's so fast. But yeah, Wenberg. I mean, Wenberg had quietly a really good career in Columbus, but Columbus was never making big time moves, so he wasn't getting the same sort of recognition there. Played well in Florida for a season, and then a couple good years with Seattle. And someone who can, like we talked about, he can play pretty much up and down your lineup as needed if he needs to do that. Playoffs last year, he had 7 points through 14 playoff games. With Seattle last year, 23 hits in 14 games. So when you need your guy to go out there and knock guys around, and Mark, we are watching the Minnesota hockey tournament. HP's had it on in the background. I can't because I'm out of the viewing area, but I have it streamed. So I'm checking in on that as well.
And I'm from Chicago, so I don't really watch it much.
You got to watch tomorrow night.
Mark is from Boston, and he's talking about it.
All right, fair. Yeah, but I'll admit right now, Mark is more plugged in than I am.
There are potential future Blackhawks playing.
Potential future Blackhawks.
That's the only way I know of to try and sell it.
Hey, I guess it's fairly true. I mean, based on Kyle Davidson's reaction to getting Oliver Moore, he's in love with some Gophers. So
he likes his Gopher guys, and there are some Minnesota players who are still in this tournament who will be.
Hold on, though. See, Mark says it. It's because you guys are talking about it.
I'm just saying, it's good.
Everybody, it is great hockey.
Oh, also, I do like.
We've had a couple overtime games already. We had a buzzer beater last night.
I do like.
Yeah, we got that one already.
Oh, we did. I didn't.
Yeah,
so
we
sorry.
Yep.
I'm literally working while doing this at the same
time. You're good. You were looking something up, so no worries.
Oh, I was. You're right. Yeah.
I think that was while we were talking about the Guentzel deal and the conditions there.
I'm also big. I don't think we threw this one up, and I don't think I can throw comments up. But Mark's comment about Jack Edwards and Patrick Maroon being instant friends.
Yeah, because they had beef in the past, and they've since squashed the beef. And it sounds like they were having some fun about it earlier on Twitter today.
Yeah, that picture of Jack Edwards apologizing to him says Jack Edwards telling Patrick Maroon he plays for the Boston Bruins now.
Yeah. And he can root for him in a fight because he's wearing the right sweater or something like that. was what he said. So, how about Florida getting Tarasenko? They get some more goaltending depth in Magnus Hellberg. Again, probably AHL, but still a really solid depth move as you're gearing up for playoff run. And then claiming Tobias Bjornfot off waivers as well.
Bless you.
Yeah, what a last
Vegas had sent Bjornfot down. Bjornfot started the year with the LA Kings, so quite the road trip for him this year.
Pack a suitcase.
I feel bad. He'll probably living out of a suitcase for
poor guy.
A good chunk of the year. Because he was in the press box for the Kings. He's 22 or 23.
Oh, he's got some time to become an NHLer.
He does, but he played one game. He's one of their he was one of the Kings' higher rated prospect defensemen, but couldn't get ice time. and then he got waived in Vegas. Either he got waived or Vegas traded like a late pick for him. And then on waivers yesterday, and then Florida claimed him today. So,
okay, what were the deal? What was the Tarasenko return?
So he returned for Tarasenko as a third and a conditional fourth.
That's it. Yeah, I was gonna say there was no first or second involved with.
And they retained Ottawa retained salary, didn't they?
They did. So
that's wild.
I'm gonna throw it in there. That's a steal for me. I get it. Tarasenko's up there in age. I think he's 31 now.
The Wild could have afforded 32? That price.
Let me double check really quick. But I love this because Tarasenko is like the ultimate playoff player. Like, who cares what he does the rest of this regular season? When it gets to playoff time, he shows up big. He did it for the Rangers. He led the Rangers in playoff points in only one round last year. And right behind him was Patrick Kane. Like, literally, that says something about the Rangers in the playoffs when you're two deadline rentals.
Yeah. Good
deadline everybody. Moves. Yeah. Tarasenko and Tarasenko with the Blues forever was a killer. For us, I mean, that seventh, he played so well against us that 2017 playoff round. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2017 playoff round when we got knocked out in 7 games by them in the first round. Like, he kills it in the playoffs, but what was I going to say? He's still got 41 points on the season. Like, he's still having a decent season, and that's only with 16 minutes of ice time.
The one that's really a surprise from Ottawa's perspective on that deal, they signed him to a 1-year deal and had a no trade clause. So Tarasenko pretty much got to pick where he wanted to go because he was a 1-year, more or less a rental. They signed him knowing they were going to trade him, but still included the no trade clause. So they handcuffed themselves on the deal. And in doing so, got less than what should have been for a return and had to retain salary on the deal.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back.
You're good.
I'm sorry you're back too.
I know.
You set that up on it. You set that up on
I teed that one up for you. I feel bad for everybody having to listen to me.
I love that. I'm not gonna lie, I might be tossing in a ticket for the Panthers and the Cup. I'm not changing my mind on someone's dog's going nuts.
That's Dixie.
Yeah, Dixie's having a time.
Dixie's defending that household.
Yeah, she's defending the castle. I can't see if there's anything out there. But...
That fearsome squirrel.
I know.
Yes. Dad, there's a squirrel.
Or it's just a dog or the UPS man or something.
I
don't know.
I like the odds for Florida now. I'm not changing my mind on my Edmonton pick because they've picked it up. I'm still riding that Edmonton train. I think they can do it, but just for some alternate picks, like.
Well, let me throw this out there. I was looking at the Stanley Cup odds earlier today.
She's picking Dallas to win the cup.
No, she's not because she knows better than that.
We now have a 3-way tie for the Stanley Cup favorite in the betting odds.
As of right this
Don't
moment.
tell me. I want to guess. Don't tell me. I want to guess.
Yeah, I want to guess too.
All right. So the 3 tops we have.
Wait, I'm gonna look at the standings first.
We have. Sorry, 1 second. So Florida.
Yep.
I agree.
Vancouver.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. It's Florida.
Dallas.
Colorado.
Not Dallas.
Not Dallas.
Not Colorado. Colorado is 4th.
Boston.
No
Not
way.
Boston.
Not Boston.
Carolina.
Boys, who made the biggest moves today?
Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
I was going to say Vegas was going to be my third guess.
Vegas has moved up, I think, plus 200 in the last 48 hours.
So Vegas, Florida, and who? Did we guess the third one?
Did not guess the third one yet.
All right.
This is a team that they made a couple moves, and we've talked about them on the show very little, but
is it Winnipeg?
It's the Rangers.
It's not Winnipeg. You are right. It's north of the border.
Edmonton.
There you go.
Edmonton. Oh, okay.
Edmonton, Vegas,
so
Florida
Vegas
are all plus 700.
So Las Vegas and their bookies agree with me.
It's hard to disagree based on the moves that Vegas made. I mean, and to see that kind of line movement.
I'm talking about Edmonton.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Edmonton's been up there just on principle.
You don't bet against Connor McDavid until you can bet against Connor McDavid.
And then Carolina plus 900, Dallas plus 1,000, Bruins and the Rangers plus 1,100. Everybody else is considerably further back than that. But the idea that just seeing the line movement, Florida was already up there as one of the favorites as well. So this just shows like the serious bettors are really going heavy on Vegas and Florida here.
What are Florida's odds?
Which they're both plus 700.
Plus 700.
I mean, I would take that. That's very
good. That's tempting, and it's a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup. So
right, it's tough to make it back, but I mean, I don't know. That's kind of, by the way,
that is going to be just a heavyweight fight if Vegas and Florida both go into that healthy.
The only problem is I think Florida can come out on top on that because say what you will about his injury history, Mark Stone makes a difference when they have him, and they are for sure not going to have him. So
through at least it sounds like the first round and maybe longer.
Oh, did they actually? Because it's set out for the season. I always assume that you say out for the season, you're not coming back in the playoffs either, most likely.
32 Thoughts was talking about it recently, and Worst Seats in the House, I want to say it was, with Russo and LaPanta. They were both talking about it, and it sounds like the report is not only is he like done for the regular season, they are going with the assumption that he won't be available for the playoffs and that they will take it if he's back, but that they are pretty much going full speed ahead with the assumption he's not back for the playoffs.
He is skating out of that tunnel game one. We all know it.
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's not.
Game one of the Cup final, maybe. Game one of the first round, no.
That's a push too, because no big deal or anything. His spleen is just lacerated. No big deal.
Only a lacerated spleen.
Yeah. Walk it off.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, it's like the Avengers, Captain America. Yeah. If you get killed, walk it off.
Yeah, I love that. I just watched that not all that long ago.
We have to borrow a bit from the Too Many Men podcast. How does it affect the Leafs? How does the trade deadline affect the Leafs? They got Joel Edmondson. They got Connor Dewar.
I need to listen to that.
You really do. It's one of my favorite segments that they do. It's so funny.
That is amazing.
That's basically what 32 Thoughts is. They just everything goes back to the Leafs. Like I love Friedman and Merrick, but somehow they always end up on the Leafs. Like talking about the Leafs.
Yeah, that's why I love 32 Thoughts, but I'm starting to get annoyed with the Leafs now because I've always known it always goes back to the Leafs, but like enough already.
Well, they got their Joel Edmondson, a defenseman. Yeah.
Yep.
They got their defenseman. They were looking for that. I don't know if they got any tougher, which I think is what they were trying to do, or thought someone or. I think Friedman mentioned that.
Hold on. This is a big thing. The CHGO, the Hawks podcast, makes fun of this all the time, at least in the beginning of the season.
Because they have Reeves and Bertuzzi?
Exactly. And do you know what?
Still can't be
Reeves and Bertuzzi have not stuck up for anybody at all. They've barely gotten into any scraps.
It's embarrassing.
They haven't done shit, and it's hilarious that, we wanted to bring in...
he fought the Rangers.
Rempe?
Guy Rempe the other day.
Empire State Building?
Because Rempe kicks everybody's ass.
That one was a halfway decent. I mean, that was a solid scrap, though.
Who was it? What was the big heavyweight bout we just saw recently? Was it Rempe and who was it? It was on the Flyers, I think.
Delorier. He fought Delorier.
Yeah,
that was a great fight.
That was old school hockey right there. But no,
all hands throwing hands.
Yeah, they're scrappier. Sure. Yep. Totally.
I mean,
matter. I'm starting to revert back to like last year. I rode the train. The Leafs are going to get over that hump and get to the second round, and I was right. Dan, so were you. I remember you called. Oh no, or did you?
No, I picked against them. I said I'm picking against them until they prove to me that they can win a playoff series.
I was going to do it, and I said no. They will make it to the second round, and they did. I am flipped this year. They are going right back to their old ways. They're out in the first round. Especially
if they've got to play Boston, which I mean, the way the standings are right now, Toronto is basically, they're pretty much doomed to play Florida or Boston unless they sink down into wild card position, but they have an 8-point lead on Detroit and Tampa for the wild card spot. So
I don't see them beating either Boston or Florida.
Yeah. So once again, we're another Toronto-Boston playoff series. We'll see if the Leafs blow a 3-1 lead again.
God, that would be so funny.
That would be hilarious, actually.
But speaking of the Leafs, can we talk about White Bear Lake for a second and how they are the Leafs of Minnesota high school hockey?
They absolutely
are 0-20 since I think it's been 97 years of high school hockey, something like that. I saw somewhere. That could be wrong.
20 trips to the state tournament, and they've never made it past the first round.
They are 0-20 in their state tournament trips. So the Leafs want to scream about their first round woes. At least they have a Stanley Cup to their name, don't they?
The Leafs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, original 6 era, but yeah.
Well, still, they have one to their name.
They haven't won since 67.
Oh, yeah, right. But don't they still have the second most ever, don't they? Or third most ever?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Just obviously.
Yeah, because Montreal has won, Toronto 2, Detroit 3.
Toronto 2, yeah.
But 0-20 in state tournament. Oh, poor team.
It's crazy.
And how they lost, just to update the viewers, they lost on a goal with 1.6 seconds left.
After tying it with
with a minute and a half left. There's your Minnesota high school hockey update.
I was going to say we went from 52 viewers to 2. No, I'm joking.
Everybody drops off.
Good. If they're not
high school hockey, I'm out.
If they're not interested in Minnesota high school hockey, let them leave. See ya.
No. That's not how this works. No.
Start of the third period, Matamidi, Hermantown.
So we got through most of the bigger trades here. There was one smaller one here. Montreal with a prospect swap, sending Jan Mysak to Anaheim for Jacob Perreault. Every Rangers fan had a panic attack when they saw Perreault was traded. It's not Perreault.
I actually,
his brother.
Even I saw. I was like, Perreault. Oh wait, never mind. That's not Gabe.
Yeah, it is his brother. So that was an important one to.
Gabe should have been a Minnesota Wild Perreault.
Oh God. Well, I still have hope. I still have hope that Charlie Stramel's going to get it figured out.
I remember when you guys were clamoring. Remember when you guys were clamoring for Gabe Perreault and Oliver Moore, and you didn't get either of them?
Yes. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
We remember.
Kicked him out.
As you should.
So just a minor move here, prospect swap, but we did want to touch on that one as well. Montreal, both of these guys really needing probably a little bit of a change of scenery. Mysak was taken a couple years ago. Perreault, I think, has 1 year older than Mysak, but with all of the forwards that the Ducks have in their pipeline, Perreault was kind of getting squeezed out. Hadn't really made an impression that he was going to stick around there. So seems like both teams just trying to kind of make a hockey trade, if you will. I feel like this is the one that's the most hockey trade of a move at the deadline.
Yeah.
Did we mention, speaking of smaller moves, did we mention Jake Allen to the Devils? Was that what it was?
We touched on it.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
We had one more late breaking trade here. This is an even smaller deal. The Sabres acquiring goaltender Devin Cooley from the San Jose Sharks for a 2025 7th round pick. Whoa, hang on. We do have one more.
Oh, my God.
The Devils are trading Vitek Vanacek to the Sharks for Capo Kakkonen per 10 weeks.
Whoa! So the Devils made a goaltender move in the end?
They made 2 goaltender moves. So they got rid of Vanacek and brought in Kakkonen, and then they also had Jake Allen. So
does that mean Schmid goes back to the A?
Yep.
The Devils could have done better.
Is that an improvement though from what they had?
Kakkonen's
not great.
Vanacek took a real slide down. Vanacek has been pretty rough.
Kakkonen's been rough, but the Sharks have been brutal.
Yeah, the Sharks have been bad. I mean, Kakkonen wasn't terrible when he was here with the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess you could call that an upgrade.
I do want to try and find here.
And Jake Allen I'm always shocked to find out how old he is because he's not as old as I thought he was. I thought he was like 40 something. He's only like 32 or 33. Somebody will have to check me on that.
So going to Capo Kakinen here for a minute, bad as the Sharks have been this year, he is only at a minus 1.8 goals saved above expected.
It's not bad.
It's not terrible. But let me throw off some goaltenders who are worse than that on the year, starting with Jake Allen, who is at minus 2.8, Akira Schmid minus 3.0, Marc-Andre Fleury minus 3.0, Jake Ottinger minus 4.0, Nico Dawes Devils minus 4.5. So just on paper, that's an upgrade. And Vitek Vanacek minus 11.2.
So
just by the numbers, that's a pretty decent improvement overall. Even if Kakinen has not been particularly good per se, he's been an upgrade over what Vanacek has been this year.
Matamita I just pulled within one from a shot from their 6'8" defenseman.
Is that 5-4 now or
just
4-3?
Picked a corner from the point. What a beauty.
5-4 or 4-3?
5-4.
5-4. Okay.
Oh, what a CNI shot. Oh my God. That's great. God, I love the tournament.
Nothing like
and our viewers dropped again. No, I'm joking.
They didn't. They've been holding pretty steady throughout the show.
Yeah.
But we still got to hit the likes, people.
Yes. Hey, 52 viewers. That is a Pod Snipe Celly record. So thank you.
Is that really a record?
It is.
For live. Oh,
I told you I bring the people.
You
absolutely
but
did.
The likes don't. The math ain't mathing. Let's get the likes going.
The likes.
Most of them are on Twitter. We'll take likes on Twitter.
Absolutely. If you like it, share it. If you don't, send it to somebody you don't like. To borrow the old bit from
that's
borrow the bit from Dev over at 10K.
I kind of love
that.
I never heard that one.
He had a bit that he would do on his show that was if you like it, tell your friends. If you don't, tell your enemies.
I love it.
That's great.
Bless you, Dev, for that one. What do we think, guys? We hit our big moves here. We hit some of the smaller moves. Any other kind of put a bow on the trade deadline here?
I think we did put a nice bow on the trade deadline, man. It ended up being a hell of a lot more fun than I expected. Like I said, I thought it was going to be fairly boring.
Yeah,
but
I kind of thought it was going to be quiet the way everybody.
I'm still surprised Markstrom didn't get moved. I really thought he was going to, but clearly I'm assuming Calgary's asking price was crazy, as it should be. But
I'm a little surprised that Markstrom and John Gibson were the ones who didn't
get
moved.
John
Gibson but that Jake Allen and Capo Kakinen were moved. Gibson, we had heard.
Is it an age
Elliot
thing?
Friedman had mentioned
Kakinen's fairly young, right?
He's young, yeah.
He's young, yeah. She's 20,
25, 26?
8. Oh, he's older than that.
Oh, he's older than that?
Kakinen is 27.
Oh, Dan, did you by chance cover exactly what the Hurdle trade involved? Because I have it up now as of 17 seconds ago.
So it was Hurdle plus the third round picks in 25 and 27.
Oh, you did cover it. Never mind.
For a first round pick and Edstrom.
Still not seeing anything on what the percentage of salary retained yet by San Jose. I'm looking. I don't see anything yet.
That tells me as well that not only is San Jose racing to the bottom this year, but that they're going to stay at the bottom next year and need to use that money to get to cap floor. That's what that tells me. If they're retaining salary on the Hurdle trade.
That means Will Smith will be in college another year.
The one thing we didn't mention, the sadness of the move that was never made. Phil Kessel was not signed by the Canucks.
You're right. We didn't talk about that.
There was a chance that we could have gotten some hot dogs in Vancouver, and it didn't happen.
I don't want to be rude, but there's no way he was in shape enough to play NHL hockey, right?
There couldn't have been because he was out of the game for too long.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Not calling him fat or anything, but like he was out of the game long enough to like set him back.
Well, and he just the last couple of years, like he wasn't a fast skater, period. Honestly, like if anybody could have signed him league minimum deal, you only play him on the power play. Like he's still going to get you 10 playoff points.
right,
solely playing power play time.
Kyle Davidson dropping some fun little potential prospect hints.
Oh,
as soon as the Notre Dame season is over, Landon Slaggert could potentially get a couple games in up in the big club.
We'll
see.
Interesting.
All right.
I don't know.
Which makes me think if they're going after Slaggert, they might do the same thing with Frankie Nazar.
That's what I'm saying, man. I could see once their season's over. That's been, and me saying it in our group chat wasn't just like me throwing a random statement. Like there's been smoke around both.
No, we know.
Slaggert
yeah.
And
I would believe him, or I would believe it that he.
Kyle Davidson hasn't been really afraid at all of the whole like, oh, you wasted a year of the ELC. Like he doesn't really care. So that'd be kind of fun to see. I'm just scrolling through though. Yeah, I don't see anything. We talked about the potential Linus Ullmark trade that was not to be. Marvel news.
Oh, go on.
I do have Marvel news. Henry Cavill has officially been casted as Doctor Doom, baby.
No way.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Where per what?
It's an account I follow. They're actually pretty on it.
Oh, I just saw it. Culture Crave?
Culture Crave or oh no. Culture Carve. It's
oh no.
Damn it. I got.
Wait, it says Source Marvel Studio.
I think I got guys.
You might have gotten got.
Bro. And this is why, as the trade deadline reminds us every year, always vet your sources.
I was a little dyslexic on reading that.
Yeah, it got me too, but also I didn't post
That's
it.
my bad.
Joel, I'm gonna have you read the one that's on the screen here now.
From Mark, our Black and Gold Hockey Podcast is doing a post 2024 NHL trade deadline show tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, which is 10 a.m. Central. If you guys are around, want to check it out,
YouTube, is it going to be live? Let us know, and we'll throw the details up here for the people.
And we'll share it out I'll share it out from my own Twitter, and I'll share it out from the Pod Snipe Celly Twitter as well. Hell yeah, dude. Tune into that. Mark is one of the most knowledgeable humans on hockey that I've ever had the privilege of virtually knowing, I should say. But
yeah, Mark's been great. He's been a associate producer almost for the show at times this year. So,
and he's also been an unofficial. He's also been an unofficial live stream on YouTube. That's the best way to do it, honestly. Which we are currently live on YouTube, actually, but we only have one person watching, and I think it's Joey. All other 51 viewers are currently on Twitter. Yes, I'm calling it Twitter. I'm not going to call it X.
God damn it. Hermantown scored 6-4.
But yeah, go check out Mark's feed, the Black and Gold podcast. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Mark will definitely be tuning in for that one.
Yep. I'm going to check that out, Mark.
So able to check that one. Guys, I think that's probably a good place to call it for today.
That wraps up our post-trade deadline reactions, which means, you know what's coming up next? We are playoff bound soon, boys.
We sure are.
Got what? Just over a month left in the regular season?
Yep. Just over.
Woo.
Well, to everybody who was tuning in for the first time, Joel and I are going to be back Wednesday, March 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live right back on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.
I want to see.
Check us out.
I want to see all 52 of you back there on Wednesday.
Check us out on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well. HP, thank you so much for joining us today and for not only sharing your NHL insights, but also for keeping us updated with what's going on in the state tournament too. So appreciate that.
You got it. No problem. Happy to do it.
It's my favorite time of year.
I love it. I might be doing the trifecta of Minnesota hockey this week. So going to the Gopher game tonight, playing Penn State in the Big Ten tournament. Me and Nikki are going to the high school hockey, probably AA championship game tomorrow, as well as the Let's Play Hockey Expo. And then might be going to the Wild game on Sunday.
Oh, there you go.
So
I wish the Mullets were still playing this weekend. I'm sorry they're not. But man, if you had that in the mix with everything too.
I know that would have been nuts. That's all levels of hockey going on. It's March. March is just
March is a
madness
great month for sports.
Oh man!
And then we have March Madness because we got Bradley Braves playing tonight as well. So
Got to win the MVC tournament to get back to the big dance.
It's got to happen.
Yep. I'll root for him.
Thank you so much, everybody who joined us for the live show. We hope we'll see you back here on Wednesday for HP and for Joel. I'm Dan. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
Bye.